I had just moved back from the West Coast to the East Coast. Long story short, college part 2, low bank account, and absolutely no shame in raiding Mom's fridge while I got my life back together. It was a weird adjustment. I'd been independent for years, and suddenly I was waking up in my old bedroom, surrounded by high school posters and the faint smell of Dad's aftershave wafting down the hall. But if there's one thing I didn't expect, it was front row seats to their little war. One lazy afternoon, I was sprawled out in their room, half watching TV, half dozing off. At the foot of their bed was this stationary exercise bike, one of those big, clunky, I swear I'll use it this time, purchases. Dad walks in with an armload of laundry. From downstairs, Mom's voice slices through the air. "Put them away, not all over my exercise bike." Dad doesn't even flinch. He walks into the closet, neatly hangs up every single piece he's carrying, and then he strolls right back out with another armload. Not the same laundry, oh no, different clothes. And he drapes them across that exercise bike like he decorating for the Macy's parade. I'm just lying there, watching this man casually commit marital treason and thinking, what on earth is happening here? A few minutes later, Mom walks in. Her eyes land on the bike. She sighs, the kind of sigh that carries 40 years of history in it. I say, "You know he does that just to rile you up, right?" And without missing a beat, she smirks. "Oh, I know. That's why I leave my clothes draped over the edge of the bathtub, so he trips over them every time he walks past. It's a game we play. A game, not a fight, not resentment, just petty war disguised as love. Once I knew what I was looking for, I started seeing it everywhere. Dad accidentally adjusting the thermostat 2 degrees cooler than Mom likes. Mom forgetting to replace his favorite coffee beans with the decaf she knows he hates. Dad swapping her reading glasses with an old prescription, so she keeps squinting at her crossword. Mom reprogramming his car radio so every preset is set to her favorite 70s disco station. These weren't accidents. These were shots fired. And the wildest part? They'd do it with straight faces in public, then crack up together about it in private. Now you might think, wow, that sounds exhausting. Why not just stop? But here's the thing. They weren't hurting each other. They were sharpening each other's wit, keeping the game alive. It was training, like two warriors sparring so they never get rusty. And I realized, this is why they're so good at petty revenge when it actually matters. I once asked Mom, "So, what happens if someone else crosses you too?" She smiled, a slow, almost evil smile. "Let's just say, we've had practice." And she wasn't kidding. Over the years, they've gotten back at rude neighbors, pushy salespeople, even a landlord who thought he could keep their deposit. They don't scream. They don't threaten. They just set the wheels in motion. And by the time you realize what's happening, they're already sitting back, sipping tea, and watching the fireworks. A few years before, their neighbor decided to build a fence a good foot over their property line. Instead of legal threats, my parents just waited. Every morning, Dad would mow his lawn, including the strip of grass on the other side of that fence. He'd trim it perfectly, water it, keep it greener than the neighbor's own yard. It took 6 months before the neighbor cracked, tore down the fence, and put it back where it belonged. No lawyers, no shouting, just quiet, relentless pettiness. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't just marriage. This was a decades-long training program. They'd been married since 1968. That's over half a century of petty back and forth, sharpening each other's wit and patience like blades. No wonder no one else stood a chance. Seeing Mom and Dad laugh about clothes on the exercise bike, it made me realize petty revenge isn't always about hate. Sometimes, it's about knowing someone so well you can annoy them in exactly the right way and still get a smile out of it. And if you're unlucky enough to be on their bad side, let's just say you'll wish you were dealing with amateurs. People think the big, dramatic moments are what keep a relationship alive. But sometimes it's the small battles, the little games, The shared smirks after you've landed the perfect, harmless blow. My parents didn't just teach me how to get revenge, they taught me how to do it with style. If you enjoyed this story of long-term petty genius, smash that like button and tell me in the comments, what is the pettiest thing you've ever done to someone you love? And of course, subscribe for more true stories of revenge done right.